I don't know why I didn't believe anybody. I was so cocksure I was going to get it all back. You know, I mean, he loved me, for crying out loud. Go figure.
What's the total amount of money you sent?
Close to 150.
150,000.
Sharon had been alone for 27 years when David J. Armstrong appeared on her Facebook page. 27 years of widowhood. 27 years of filling silence with books. When the pandemic arrived in 2020, even the peripheral social contact that had structured her days, the visits to a library, the casual exchanges at a grocery store, disappeared. What remained was isolation, compounded by uncertainty, in a world that suddenly felt hostile to the elderly. This is the environment in which Armstrong introduced himself. He did not arrive through a dating platform where Sharon might have been on guard. He arrived through Facebook, a space associated with family photographs and casual connection. The friend request appeared ordinary. She accepted. What followed was not a single deception but a sustained performance. Armstrong presented a complete biography, a widower himself. His wife had died in a car accident. He worked on an oil rig off the coast of England, a setting that explained why he could not meet in person, why phone calls were difficult, why text was the only reliable medium. The story was detailed, consistent, and emotionally resonant. He was not just a stranger. He was a man who had also experienced loss. The messages arrived nightly. They were long, they were affectionate, they followed the rhythms of intimacy. Good night wishes, expressions of care, digital roses. Each message reinforced the previous one. Each interaction built on what had come before. Sharon described it precisely. She was going deeper and deeper. He was pouring it on, slathering it on. The language she uses is instructive. She recognized, in retrospect, the excess. But in the moment, the excess felt like devotion. For a woman who had spent nearly 3 decades without a partner, the attention was not suspicious. It was nourishing. The scam succeeded at this stage not because Sharon lacked judgment, but because the scammer understood exactly what judgment she would apply. He presented himself as safe, consistent, and emotionally available. He mirrored her loneliness back to her and offered to fill it.
Sharon loves to read books. A widow for 27 years, reading fills the emptiness. But in 2020, during those bleak months of the pandemic, on her Facebook page, she said a handsome stranger asked to be her friend. She accepted.
His name is David J. Armstrong. His wife was in a car accident. I mean, he had it down verbatim, you know, the whole story.
Armstrong built up trust with Sharon, told her he was working on an oil rig off the coast of England, and was attracted to her.
He would email me or text me a nice long love letter every night, say, "Are you in bed, darling? I hope you're comfortable. I hope you sleep well." Sent me a rose once. You know, I mean, I'm just going deeper and deeper and deeper into this.
He's pouring it on.
Oh, my God. Slathering it on.
And he got you.
And he got me. He sure did.
In 2017, Tennessee enacted what's called the Pause Law. It gives financial institutions the authority to delay or refuse transactions that may exploit an older or vulnerable adult. Aaron Bradley is director of the East Tennessee's Area Agency on Aging.
If every bank and financial institution in this state would use that law, then we would be able to protect people better.
Sharon said through messages, Armstrong claimed things had gone wrong in the oil rig. Could she send him money so they could be together soon? She did, for 6 months.
What's the total amount of money you sent?
Close to 150.
150,000.
As she went through her records, Sharon said the first time she asked for a big cashier's check, her primary bank refused.
They started to do it, and then the teller said, "I need to make a call." And I guess she called the main bank, and they said, "It's a scam. We're not going to do it."
So then you went to another bank.
I went to another bank, and they did it freely. They did it twice for me. No problem whatsoever.
Banks are just not using the law as much as they should.
And if they did?
If they did, folks would not lose their money. They may be angry, but they'll still have their money in the bank.
I don't know why I didn't believe anybody. I was so cocksure I was going to get it all back. You know, I mean, he loved me, for crying out loud. Go figure.
This $47,000 transaction was sent to the scammer in August of 2020. She was unaware of the hoax, but others were suspicious.
My friends told me, my kids told me.
What did your heart tell you?
My heart told me he really did love me because I kept saying, how do you know you love me? You haven't even met me. I can tell by the way you talk. I can tell by your pictures. And I'm like, I just fell for it.
The first bank said no. This is the detail that transforms Sharon's story from a case of individual vulnerability into a case of systemic failure. Tennessee's pause law, enacted in 2017, was designed precisely for this situation. It grants financial institutions the authority to delay or refuse transactions when there is reasonable belief that an older or vulnerable adult is being exploited. The law does not require certainty. It requires concern. And Sharon's primary bank, upon reviewing her request for a large cashier's check, exercised that concern. The teller made a call. The decision came back. This is a scam. We are not going to do it. The system worked. For one moment, in one institution, the architecture of protection functioned as intended. But Sharon went to another bank, and that bank processed the transaction freely. No questions, no calls, no pause, they did it twice. $47,000 moved in a single transaction. The total, over 6 months, approached $150,000. The pause law is permissive, not mandatory. It grants authority. It does not compel action. And in the gap between permission and requirement, Sharon's savings disappeared. This structural failure is compounded by a psychological one. When Sharon's first bank refused the transaction, she did not reconsider. She found an institution that would comply. Her friends had warned her. Her children had warned her. The bank had warned her, and she persisted. This is not irrationality. It is the predictable consequence of months of emotional investment. Sharon had already committed to the relationship. She had already integrated Armstrong into her understanding of her future. To accept that he was a fraud would have meant accepting that her judgment had failed, that her loneliness had made her a target, that the intimacy she had experienced was manufactured. The cost of that acceptance was higher than the cost of finding another bank. Armstrong knew this. The scam was designed to produce exactly this response. The investment of time, the accumulation of affection, the slow escalation of requests, all of it created a psychological environment in which Sharon would advocate for her own exploitation.
We all could fall prey to this. These con artists are professionals. They are professionals.
Sharon has a direct warning.
No, don't do it. Whatever, don't matter what you think. Bottom line is don't do it because you will lose every dime you send. Every dime.
The $150,000 Sharon sent is not recoverable. The funds were routed through accounts designed to obscure their destination and then moved offshore. The man she knew as David J. Armstrong almost certainly does not exist. The photographs she received were likely harvested from social media, the biography assembled from templates shared across networks of fraud operators. The love letters that arrived each night may have been written by multiple individuals working in shifts, following scripts refined through repetition. Sharon had the protection of a state law designed specifically to prevent what happened to her. One bank applied it. Another did not. The law exists, but its application is discretionary, and discretion failed. She describes herself as captive. She says she kicks herself every day. The language of self-blame has replaced the language of love. Where once there were nightly messages of affection, there is now silence and the knowledge that she was, as she puts it, gullible. But gullibility is not the accurate frame. Sharon was isolated, widowed, and targeted by professionals who understood precisely how to exploit her circumstances. The scam did not succeed because she was foolish. It succeeded because it was engineered to succeed against someone exactly like her. She still reads books. The emptiness she tried to fill remains.
And the Federal Trade Commission says the most common fake occupation given by romance scammers is that of someone in the military or an offshore oil rig worker. And the sad story Sharon was given is the most repeated. The so-called boyfriend is a widower who is stuck on the rig or is trying to get off the military base but needs money to do so. And once the scammers successfully receive the first payment, they don't give up. Sharon admits she kicks herself every day.